So after many videos putting together the melody and the beat, we're finally on to vocals, the scariest part of all. But there's a couple little things that I'm going to do that will help me layer this, just like I layered previous instruments, instead of trying to get it perfect the first time. Before I even worried about sitting down to the microphone, I just hummed along to the melody on a phone recording. And I'm just trying to see if I can find kind of a different melody with the voice. Working on finding a cadence. Not worrying about the words at all, just getting the tone. So not every attempt is going to be a keeper. Now that I hummed out a simple vocal progression on my phone recording, I'm going to also export the beat as an MP3 so I can listen to it on the go and try to write some lyrics. Now that I have some words written, I want to add a vocal track and take an attempt at getting that cadence back that I found while humming. Living this holy, that shall not control me, I won't back down, the powers that be. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you bring to my life so I can be free. I was having trouble nailing the timing at first, so I just spaced it out, give myself plenty of time to practice and repeat, and try to get it cleaner each time. I don't think it was quite there. Living this holy, that shall not control me, I won't back down. For my second take, I added another track, so I didn't have to delete the first one, because maybe I want to use it as a reference. Living this holy, that shall not control me, and I won't back down to the powers that be. Living this holy, that shall not control me, and I won't back down to the powers that be. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. You can see the spike in the S there. That's something that we're going to have to learn how to fix over time. Living this holy, thou shalt not control me, and I won't bow down to the powers that be. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. Just practicing without the beat, trying to get the timing of the vocal. And you want to be, but you know full well, and tell them care about life lived so well. It was almost easier singing that part without the synth on, but I'll have to line it up later. Now I'm starting to chop out the things that weren't working, clicking on the track, slicing, deleting. I'm starting to line up the vocals with the synth so they can hit at the same time. Actually, for the singing, it's almost better if they're a little late after the synth hit. Now just recording over and over and over again. I couldn't naturally get the timing down that quick, so I started to stitch the vocals together. I'm also using this as an opportunity to compare different takes of the same lines, and then keep the one I like the best. Double click and drag to select a loop region.
Living this solely that shall not control me, and I won't bow down to the powers that be. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you brought to my life so that I could be free. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words.
So we could play with this effect, if that's what you're looking for.
But you know full well, tell them care about life, live away.
And that's enough of that one. So we'll start building our usual effects chain.
Living this solely that shall not control me, and I won't bow down to
EQ
the powers
first.
that be. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you brought to my life.
Seeing how the different ranges affect my voice.
Find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words that I could write.
And just dialing it into what sounds good. I'm taking out a little bit of the bassiness of the voice to help it mix better in the track. And making up the volume level so it sounds at the same volume as if I have it off or on. Now I know I should use a compressor so I can get the vocals more leveled. I still struggle with dialing in these settings, so I definitely need to practice using a compressor in the next video.
Living this solely that shall not control me, and I won't bow down to the powers that be. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you brought to my life so that I could be free.
Now I'm exploring some other effects that we've used in the past and seeing what makes it interesting and what takes away or is too distracting.
And you want to be, but you know full well, and tell them care about life lived away.
And I gotta remember that when I have an effect I like, I need to go up to the top and click that back arrow button to save the effect settings.
All the words that I could write. And you want to be.
Most of these are a bit much.
And you want to be, but you know full well. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words that I could write.
Oh.
Living this solely that shall not control me, and I won't bow down to the powers that be. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you brought to my life so that I could be free. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words that I could write. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words that I could write.
There's something here with this chorus. I'm liking what Dimension B sounds like.
And you want to be, but you know full well, and tell them care about life lived away.
Now I'm trying a speaker simulation just to add some texture, I guess, to the vocals. It makes them sound less clean. Now that I have some effects picked out, I want to go back and double check them, turn them off, turn them back on, make sure it's making it sound better, and I'm not just using it to use it. Now I'm cleaning up my tracks, naming the one we're going to keep. I learned that I have to stop playback in order to delete a track. All right, let's hear how it came together.
Living this soul that shall not control me, and I won't bow down to the powers that be. I can't express it, the feeling of blessing you brought to my life so that I could be free. I cannot stand it if you cannot manage to find peace and comfort in all that you see. All the words that I could write, and you want to be, but you know full well, and tell them care about life lived away.
So I'm pretty happy with where the lyrics are at. There's some words that I would touch up in order to give them actual meaning, but it's flowing pretty well. I think for the singing, there's a couple notes that I have to practice a little bit more in order to hit those. But it's starting to sound like a song. And it has structure now. It has a verse and a chorus or a hook. So I can definitely start to rebuild the track around the vocal. And then get a little bit tighter with knowing how to use my effects. Then we might start finalizing the mix and think about how do we master this to prepare it for streaming. I'll see you in the next step of the journey.